Greetings, this is Atma Bodha. The title of today's podcast, actually video, would be The Goal of Enlightenment, or Be the Most Powerful Being on Earth. So let's dive into that. First of all, the goal of enlightenment, of liberation, of illumination, of attaining this power of unstoppability, of bliss, of love, this samadhi, this nirvana. What is the goal of it? It's very simple. Those at the top are just all about experiencing this ocean of love, of inspiration. There is no pissing contest at the top among gurus or something. No. If there is such a thing as a contest at the top, that would be a contest in terms of who is experiencing the greatest experiences, right? Who is the highest? Who is the most loving? Who has the most inspiration? You know, who is the most ecstatic? Who can experience this ecstasy and this love and bring it everywhere, right? In any situation, who can be in an uninterruptible state. Yeah, it's one thing to be able to be in this state when you're in a cave in the Himalayas. It's another thing to bring it down and make it public and bring it into the cities, into the countries, and on TV and YouTube and everywhere, and to bring it everywhere. That's where it becomes a bit more of a challenge, obviously. So at the top, what is the goal of enlightenment? It is achieving this continuous state of nirvana samadhi all the time, everywhere, and sharing it. So if there's a contest, so to speak, it would be who can inspire the most people, who can awaken the most hearts. If your experience of life is intense enough, you have a field of energy that encompasses you. It's like another word for it would be aura, or energetic field. What's another word for that? You're enveloped in this experience that extends beyond your skin, right? In modern science, it's a very materialistic. In other words, they approach everything from the perspective of senses, because senses is what is measurable, right? You can measure what you see, you can measure what you hear, you can measure what you touch, even taste, even smell. All of these things are measurable, right? But when you get beyond the senses, science doesn't know yet how to measure it. And so that's why when we talk about things like empathy, according to science, it's all about visual cues or auditory cues. And, you respond to other people based upon their eye contact, their tone of voice, how they're talking to you, their facial expression, how they're looking at you. Whereas when you are evolved to a higher place, and I hate that word evolved because it sounds like, oh, I'm so much evolved better than you. It's like, no, that's not what it's about at all. It's like, is a butterfly better than the caterpillar? No, a butterfly had to be a caterpillar first. But the point is this, is that when you are coming from an elevated perspective, you realize that things are not determined by the senses, okay? The senses, yes, are measurable, but the truth is that empathy extends beyond senses, right? People can give off toxic vibes. Hostile work environments, toxic work environments exist because there are toxic people there who have bad attitudes, and it's emitting some ripple effects off of their body beyond their skin. So people get so sensitive about COVID being like, oh, it's a virus. Yes, it's going to kill 1% of us or 0.1% of us. and they happen to target the old, elderly, and the obese. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. But you know what? There's another infectious thing happening right now. It's not a virus. It's called the energy itself, right? It's people's attitudes are infectious, right? People's positive vibe, negative vibe, all of that is infectious. So if you're coming from a place of love and positivity and inspiration, that positive, inspirational vibe is going to ripple out. If you're coming from a negative perspective, that negative vibe, that negative perspective is going to ripple out. So the goal of enlightenment obviously is not to be negative, because what does negativity do? It just brings you down, brings other people down. It doesn't feel good. You know, who wants to be a hater, really? Even the haters, they don't want to be haters, because hating doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good to have a negative attitude on life, right? It doesn't feel good to feel worthless, to feel like you are jealous, or to feel even angry doesn't feel good, right? These are not things that you want to have in your life all the time. So when you are an enlightened master, obviously you have mastered yourself to such a degree that you can experience heightened states of love, euphoria, inspiration all the time. So it never ends. And when your understanding and is backed by knowledge, tapped directly into the absolute, you have not only these experiences, but you have an uninterruptible experience. So in other words, you can go into toxic environments and yet still be unaffected by others' toxicity. In fact, you could even go into toxic environments and inspire people. That's when you have an impact that's greater than how others impact you. And that is when you know you're coming from a place of limitlessness. Because when you're tapped into like this limitless power, nothing can stop you. You can go in these situations. So again, just to summarize, the goal of enlightenment is to be in this sea, this ocean of love and inspiration. That is where I'm at right now, okay? That is what I'm about. I'm about being in this sea of love and inspiration 24/7, every nanosecond of every day. And I'm about trying to bring as many people into this ocean as I can, to flood the earth with this ocean of love and bliss, to have this ocean be so powerful that it can sweep away, wash away the negativity and the hate and the toxic vibes from the entire planet. All right, that's where I'm coming from. So when I look around and I see, okay, I'm already in this end game. I'm in this end game whereby life is wonderful all the time, right? Uninterruptedly wonderful, in samadhi, in nirvana, how whatever name you want to use for this state. You know, you can also call it the state of the Stoic sage, you know, being outcome independent. But when you're coming from this place, it's no longer about you, okay? What it's about is wanting to represent this ocean of wonderfulness and have it be infectious, and to share it with as many people as possible, so that everybody, wherever I go, not only wherever I go, but the idea is wherever I go, to have people be uplifted in my presence, to have people feel love, to have people feel bliss, inspiration, to be a walking tsunami anywhere, so that just with a look, to go psh, psh, inspire explosions of love and bliss and ecstasy everywhere. That's the mindset of next level human. That's the mindset of what it is to be a truly powerful master. And so when I look around And I don't see other people having these same motives of like, okay, hey, everybody, I feel so high all the time. I want you to feel high too. Let's share this love and bliss. I don't see that happening right. I'm not seeing a major movement happening right now in humanity when it comes to this. So that's brought me to the conclusion that, hey, I must be the most powerful being on earth. I must be. It seems like I'm the only person on earth right now that is experiencing bliss all the time, samadhi all the time, nirvana all the time, and is boldly taking that into the public space, right? Not just keeping it to myself in some cave in the Himalayas, but actually bringing this energy into the public space. And so what I assert is that if you want to taste samadhi, if you want to taste nirvana, if you want to be liberated, if you want to feel inspired, if you want to be stronger than anything in your life that's causing you to suffer, to feel negative, all you need to do, and this may sound a bit woo to you, but all you need to do is focus on this vibe, dude. Focus on this energy that you can pick up, right? You don't need to focus on my face. It's not about me. It's about this vibe, this ocean of love and bliss. And if you can experience it, that's awesome. Try to keep it with you, right? Try to keep it with you every moment of every day. And if you can't experience it, just try to quiet your mind, to be receptive in your mind, to try to be sensitive, to empathetically feel what I'm about, what this channel's about, this just general vibe of love and bliss, because it is accessible. You can experience it directly for yourself. And personally, I'm not going to stop until you do. This is Atma Bodha. Until next time. Peace, love.